Good evening, everybody. Well, tonight we're going to start working on graphing and writing inequalities, and for the next week and a half we're going to be working on solving inequalities. So it's important that we understand the basic concepts of inequalities, making sure we understand how to graph them, how to read them, and how to write them down. So please make sure you're taking good notes, and remember to take the post-video quiz at the end of the lesson. So let's get started. So, as you can see, we have here x is less than, and we have the less than sign. And when we're going to graph, we're going to represent the less than sign with an open circle. And later on I'll show you how we'll indicate to which direction that goes. But if I have x is less than, let's say x is less than 3, then we're going to go to the number 3 on our number line, and we're going to give it an open circle. The open circle means just that. It means that it starts at 3, but it does not include 3. It's everything less than that number. The same can be said with x is greater than. Let's say we have x is greater than -2. We're going to go to the number -2 on our number line, and we're going to give it an open circle. The open circle again says it comes up to -2, but it doesn't quite include -2. And then we have to determine whether we are greater than or less than. This says greater than, and so we're going to move to the right. Now the two closed circles are both represented for x is less than or equal to, x is greater than or equal to. And what that says is when I get to the number 2, x is less than or equal to 2, I'm also going to include the number 2. And I indicate that by using a closed circle. X is greater than or equal to 3, I'm going to indicate that with a closed circle. And then we're going to point in the direction. And I'll give you a couple of hints of how we decide which way to draw the arrows. Okay, so make sure you have that in your notes. If you're still copying that down, that's fine. Just pause the video, and in a second I'll see you on the next page. So here we have x is less than 3. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to identify where the number 3 is, and I'm going to put a circle around it. The next thing that I want to do is I want to identify whether I fill in the circle or not. In this particular case, x is less than. It does not include 3, so I don't fill in the circle. And then the last thing is, which direction does my arrow go? Well, my arrow is going to the left here, so my arrow will also go to the left here. And x is less than 3. My next one, x is greater than or equal to 4. First thing I want to do is find the 4 and draw a circle. Whoops. Draw a circle. Once I've drawn the circle, I decide, okay, x is greater than or equal to it, so it's including 4. So I complete the circle. The arrow is going this way. X is greater than 4. All right. Next one. X is less than or equal to -3/2. Well, on my number line here, they didn't give me any fractions, so I have to be very careful. -3/2, here's -1, somewhere in between. Sometimes they may give you something that looks like this. Be very careful that you don't go to the -1 and then move to the right. This is even smaller than -1. How much smaller? By another half. Okay, it includes -3/2, so I fill it in, and my arrow goes this way. And that brings up a very important point. What happens if they write this 2 is greater than x? Well, I can still go to the 2, and I can still identify it, but please don't just say, well, the arrow is going this way, so this is that way. 2 is greater than x. So what is x? Well, if 2 is greater than x, then x has to be everything less than 2. And one of the things we'll talk about is checking our step. Let me just pick a point right here, 0. 2 is greater than 0. Was that a good check? Yes. Let's go back here. Okay, what's on my number line? 6. 6 is greater than 4. Is that a good check? Yeah. Let's go back one more. All right, here I'm looking down my arrow. I love 0. Plug 0 in. 0 is less than 3. Is that a good check? So you can see you can do a check step once you've graphed these to make sure that you've put the arrow in the correct direction. So now we have to write the equality from the graph. Well, first thing I look at here is that I have a number at 6. My number is greater than. X is greater than 6. Pick a number greater than 6. 8. Is that on my line? Check step. Good. Number is 2. I'm going to write 2. Looks like it's solid. Includes. X is less than 2. Whoops, made a mistake. X is less than negative 2. Pick a point. -5. Is -5 less than or equal to -2? Check step. And I think you can see how quick and easy that is. So for tonight, you're going to have just a little quick post video after this, for post video quiz. I want you to go to post video quiz number 11, and I want you to check that out. We'll be doing more practice in class tomorrow. Hopefully this is pretty straightforward for you. I do want to encourage you to memorize the inequality signs. So if you've not memorized those yet, you should have, but if you've not, those need to be memorized. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and good night.